morning, everybody. It's Kyle, your Redding forager. I got Pip with me, and we're here at Clear Creek. We're gonna check out some of the plants here and teach you guys a little bit about our local flora. And hope you guys enjoy. Okay, we'll start by walking here, and you see these little blue flowers. These are lupins, and you can tell because they have the very unique flower shape, and the flowers kind of are unique as well. And this is Lupinus nanus, I believe it's called. I think it's the sky lupin. And yeah, so lupins are really great because they're a nitrogen fixing plant. So if we come over here, I could show you another species of lupin. This one is called silver lupin. And you can see the same flower shape, or the leaf shape, and the same flower shape, only this one is a bit bigger. And yeah, these are in the legume family, so they're nitrogen fixing plants. They help to put nitrogen into the soil. And we'll just carry on down over here. So these ones, this scraggly bush here, these two kind of flanking the trailway. They're called Ceanothus cuneatus, and the common name is buckbrush. And in the spring, they'll have these really nice white puffy flowers, cream-colored flowers. They're kind of past their prime here, but this is a really cool plant too, because the flowers, if you collect them and you rub them on your hands with a little water, they will make soap. And it's a really scraggly looking bush. The leaves look like this. And one of my favorite things to do with the leaves of this plant is to make tea. And it tastes very, very similar to green tea. So this is a really good spot that you can collect some of these leaves. So there's just a lot right there. And yeah, that's called a buckbrush. So we'll go ahead and continue on here. In this spot we have a willow. And the willow is really great because it has long shoots that are bendy and they won't break. Like here, it bends really easily and it doesn't break. So traditionally, willows have been used for weaving baskets. And this specific willow here, I've actually harvested from before. And I use it to make arrow shoots. And I'm still working on my technique for that. But the willow. So here we have a young manzanita plant. Manzanita bush. Manzanitas are pretty much like one of the iconic plants of California. They have like this really red trunk and these like bluish greenish leaves, and they produce berries. So you can see all the berries starting to form here, and these berries are actually edible. So during the summertime, when they will start to turn red, you can collect them and you can make a cider that tastes a bit like lemonade or a little bit like apples. And when the berries dry up, you can collect them and grind them up and powder them and use the powder as flavoring. I like to mix it into oatmeal or just different stuff. And it does have a bit of an apple flavor. So manzanita means little apple in Spanish. And you can see that the berries, they look similar to like little tiny apples. So that's how this plant got its name. And there's lots and lots of different uses. And I can get into those. I'll probably make a separate video for that because manzanita is just such a amazing plant. Okay, we'll keep on going down here. And this one is a gray pine. This is a very young one. And of course, pine needles, you can make tea. It's very high in vitamin C. I really like to drink pine needle tea during the winter time when there's maybe not so much else to forage. And the pine kind of reminds me of holiday, Christmas type of flavor. But the gray pines, they will produce pine cones, and inside of the pine cones there are some edible nuts. And this one up here, that's another gray pine. It's an adult, possibly the parent to this little baby guy here. So if you find the pine cones and you get them before the squirrels do, they'll be loaded with edible nuts. Okay, so we'll just keep on going down here. Oh, this is interesting here. So this guy that's just pushing out his leaves, this is a wild fig. Here's an idea of the leaf shape. And so the figs, they were planted in people's gardens, and then the birds eat them. And the birds are pretty good gardeners because wherever they go and drop the seeds, put a little fertilizer on it, then that plant will start to grow into the woods. And figs grow pretty good because they're pretty drought tolerant. And they kind of fit in nicely with the landscape over here. They don't seem to take over too bad. We got another blue oak here with a live oak. So you can see the difference of the leaves. See, the blue oak, it's got these big lobes, rounded edges. And the live oak, it's got these little spikes on the edge of the leaf. And the main difference is a live oak will not lose its leaves in the winter, but the blue oak does lose its leaves. And there's some other differences, like about how the acorns look. But they're both edible. They're both oaks. I'll just go ahead and walk down here to the water. Yeah, so these big trees that are growing here along the water, these are willows. And willows, they are basically water plants. They really like to grow in right next to the water where their feet can stay into the groundwater, can stay wet. Some plants don't like to have their roots completely submerged in the water, but willow does. Another plant that really likes the wet environment is this one growing right here in the understory of this willow. This is an amazing plant. This is one of my favorites. So this is mugwort, California mugwort, Artemisia douglassiana. So if you can just get an idea of this leaf shape here. So these plants will have this style of leaf, but as they grow, the leaves will become much more lanceolate. So they'll lose these lobes. And just for comparison, they will be kind of shaped more like this, like the willow's leaves here. So when this plant grows up, it'll change its leaf shape. But this plant has a really iconic smell. If you could just smell this through the camera, you would know what I'm talking about. Some people describe it as mint-like, but I think it's very distinct from mint. But this is a really great plant. You could, if you harvest some of this, it is used to help induce lucid dreams. So you could put it under your pillow or hang it in your doorway. I hang it in the doorway so I get the smell and get the blessings each time I leave or enter my home. So these stalks here, these are the old plants from last year. And these are the dried up flower heads. So each year the plant will grow and grow and grow and produce flowers and then seeds and then die back. And then it will come back from the roots each year. And that's what you're seeing here, is all the new growth. And so you can also use mugwort to smudge. And again, it's really good for inducing dreams. If you're having some sort of troubles that you can't really work out in your normal life, maybe you need to be able to work it out in your dreams. So dreams are really good for helping us to refresh and reinvigorate and re-inspire. And so here we are at the water. And this is Clear Creek. This is a really beautiful waterway here. And so I want to show you this plant here that's growing along the edge, and it's just doing amazing. This is the iconic California poppy. And so it's still morning, so these flowers have not opened up. But once the sun comes up and hits this plant, the flower will open up and absorb all that sunshine. Now this plant is in the poppy family, Papaveraceae. And so it has a lot of the same benefits that some of the other poppies have. So it's really good medicine for insomnia, anxiety, or pain. And, you can take the whole aerial part of the plant, meaning the leaves, the stems, and the flowers, and you can make a tea.